I'm in Ashbourne and this is the Shawcroft car park. That's it, just over here. This is where they start the game. This used to be a field. It's a car park now, and that's the plinth there where they throw the ball off. It's specially made. Up on top of there, throw the ball straight out here. This is the upwards goal here. It's called Sturston Mill. The mill is no longer here, but that's the goal post there. They touch it on that 3 times and that's the goal. That's a farm just over there. I think the players normally come across the fields, some over this way to get to the goal. It's quite a dull morning, misty. There it is there, Sturston Mill, the upwards goal. So this is the two ball painters here together. They're doing a photographic session here in the Green Man Hotel. The cameraman. And that's a German TV film crew as well.
Right, this ball actually is more like a picture book. It depicts Bob Hudson's life, who's turning up the ball on Ash Wednesday. So I've painted his name here. Bob worked at JCB for several years on the diggers, so we painted a digger on the front there. Of course, we always put the date, which is Ash Wednesday, February 21st, 2007. Moving on to the sides of the ball, here we have a Derby County football ram, as Bob's a supporter of Derby County here. And underneath that we have the RAF badge, because Bob did some time national service in the RAF. Now, we are Royal Shrovetide Football, as Princess Mary accepted a ball in 1922 as a wedding gift. So since then we've become Royal Shrovetide, and of course indeed we've had 2 Princes of Wales come to Ashbourne and start the game. So we always paint the very traditional Imperial State crown on the back. Here, Ashbourne is very proud to have the largest Highland gathering outside of Scotland, and we've painted the Ashbourne Highland Gathering badge there featuring St Oswald's Church and the Scottish flag. Here we have the 3 cockerels of the Ashbourne Civic Crest, coupled with a new feature this year. This has been the first time we've painted this on a ball. We've got the very brand new Derbyshire flag there, and that completes the decoration on the Ash Wednesday ball.
And what sort of weight is the ball?
This weighs probably between 5 and 7 pounds. I'd say this is about 5.5, not having made it, but roughly as an average, they're about 5 pounds in weight.
It's in the Shawcroft car park here. And there's Pete Robotham. Pete's a downard, and he's a member of the Shrovetide committee. Now Pete, you goaled a ball in 1967 that was disqualified. Yeah. What happened there?
It did. We picked the ball up with a lad that was running in a vehicle and hit him in my house, actually, and left him there, meaning to go back for him later on. But when we did, he'd gone and headed towards the upwards goal. Luckily, on the way up, he then hid that again to make sure that there was not much opposition at the goal to stop him going in. But in between that, we found the ball again and took it down to Downers Mill.
In a vehicle?
No, we went down,
right.
Ran all the way down with the Downers, and then down to Downers Mill, where we scored it at roughly 5 to 10. We then walked back with it in the town, came to the Green Man, which we have to, with the ball that scored.
To register your win, yep.
And it was taken off me by the sergeant, police sergeant, saying it was a void ball because it had been in a vehicle,
so
which
it was disqualified for being in a vehicle. But then, in 1997, you threw up a ball. You threw it, we're here standing at the plinth here that threw the ball off. Now, what happened in 1997 when you threw the ball off?
In 1997, what we have is dignitaries on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, what we call first balls. Now, if the first ball is scored before 5, there is a second ball turned up by normally ex-players, which I was. So I turned Wednesday's ball up after 5 o'clock. Luckily, I've got 2 sons who, one owns a firm who've got 20 or 30 men work for him. So what they did, they try to keep the ball in a hug, same as a rugby scrum, but most of the time from 5 till 10, and to stop anybody running off with it or trying to hide it, they kept around it in intervals. You can't stop in there from 5 till 10, it's too much strain and that, so they kept swapping over in 3s and 4s and holding it, and I got the ball back at 10 o'clock at night.
So if it goes until 10 o'clock and,
Yeah.
and there's no goal being scored,
I get the ball back.
the person who threw the ball up,
Yeah.
they get to keep it.
Yeah.
So you finally, you got to keep the ball.
I got the ball.
And-
That was the headline. Pete gets his ball finally.
Well done.
Yeah.
And in the 1967 game, who got to keep that ball then?
In 1967, that was taken back into the ex-servicemen's club because it was turned up by a Mr. Blow, who was a senior man in the Royal British Legion, and he handed it back.
Oh,
and
so
put
it's
it in
been
the ex-servicemen's
so it's used
club,
now for
and
display.
It is still in the ex-servicemen's club now.
for display. So
Yeah.
nobody
No.
rolled that. Nobody
Yeah.
officially won
I
it.
goaled it, but it's up and down. It's not mine, really.
Well done anyway, Pete. Thanks a lot for that.
Okay.
Thank you. Just here at the Ashbourne News Telegraph. Is this our office and shop window here? There's Tim. He's the painter of the ball there. So Tim, why is it they put the balls in the window?
Yeah, traditionally we've always displayed them in the window about 3 days before the game at the Ashbourne News Telegraph, which is the paper of Ashbourne. They hang in the window, like I say, for 2 or 3 days, but we do have to take them out, unfortunately, at night, otherwise they wouldn't be here properly tomorrow.
So you take them out at night time?
At night, yeah.
So
They're locked in the safe in the back.
Alright, so you have them displayed during the day,
From 8:30 till 5 during the day, yeah.
and then you take them out at night
Yes.
for security reasons.
Security reason. And this very historic ball here, from 1909, that was goaled by Joseph Harrison. He's the grandfather of Bob Hudson that will be turning the ball up
Oh, right.
on Ash Wednesday.
And that's almost 98 years ago.
Yeah, 98 years ago. And he's the grandfather of Bob that's thrown the ball up on
Ash Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday.
And that's the one that you painted.
I did, yeah.
Right. Thanks for that then, Tim.
problem.
Thank you. I'm just down here at Clifton Mill with Paul Harrison. This was a ball that he goaled in the year 2000. Is that right, Paul?
Yes, that's
And
right.
was it the Tuesday or the Wednesday?
It was the Wednesday.
On the Wednesday game on the
The 8th,
Ash Wednesday, the
the
year
8th of the 3rd,
2000. And what's the story behind the ball? How did you get it here?
The story was going. It got into the river by the wine bar in town, and it was hugged about 300 yards down, and then it got chucked out, but it come back in, and then we carried on hugging, and then we got to a place called what they call Tomo's Fields, which is a farmer which is next to the brook, and then we decided to I got a bag on me, so we put the ball in the bag while I was still in the hug, and then further down there was some like branches they're like in the river what come over the river, so as we got to them branches we said to the lads, we'll tie the bag on the river on the like on a branch, because it was in a black bag with like a pull cord on it, so I pretended that I fell over, so the hug went down the water and we all went over, and while it went over I tied a knot with a string on the bag with a ball in it, and then the hug just carried on pretending that we still got the ball, and then the hug carried on. Well, after it had gone down about 500 yards, 3 people went back, they chucked it to the downers runners, and the downers run off with it, and then as soon as we know they'd run off with it, a certain amount still stayed in the hug, and then there's a certain amount what come out to come down to the goal, and then when the runners come in with it, I ended up goaling it.
So were you back here before the runners, or were they here?
No,
They were here?
I was here before the runners come in.
Alright.
There was about 20 to 25, 30 hours, I'd say, somewhere around there. And then when I actually goaled it, I walked back a different way to what they normally walk back. I walked back down towards Peaches Lane to come back onto Mayfield Road to the cemetery, because I wanted to pay my respects to my father. But as we was coming to the island by the cemetery, all the lads heard that the ball had been scored, and we all reunioned together down Mayfield Road, and it was quite a joy, because this particular ball, this ball has stopped the upwards from equaling our record, which is seven balls on the trot.
So they had 6 in a row.
Yeah.
Before that.
Yeah, and if the upwards would have scored this ball on the Wednesday, they would have scored 7 balls there like continuously, which would have equalled our record.
All right, so it stopped that.
So it stopped it. So we're still on top.
So there's the goal post over there. That's called the Clifton Mill goal post. So what is it you do? You touch the.
You've got to basically get in the river, because you can't goal it because you're not allowed to goal it from, like off the side or coming off the top. You've got to be in the river, and it's got to be seen tapped. You've got to tap the old mill wheel in the middle, which you can see. You have to tap it on the stone at 3 times.
And then
that's.
Does everybody cheer and
everybody cheers and goes mad?
And the cameras flash and all that. The cameras all.
And then basically you sort of walk back, and then you give him the opposition some stick, and it's vice versa. If it goes if it goes upstairs, and they do exactly the same.
And then what happens when you go back to the Green Man Hotel?
Yeah.
And do people buy you a drink, or do you have to buy everybody a drink, or how does that work?
It's been normally tradition to buy. When you goal the ball, you buy all your mates a drink.
You buy everybody else a drink then?
Yeah, you buy a drink, and it's normally quite a big bill.
That's it?
Yeah, but you don't mind, because you don't get many of these.
Right, so it's only a one sauce, one off.
Yeah, it's the next best thing to go on to winning a Olympic medal, I'd say.
Well, thank you very much for that, Paul.
Quite alright.
So yeah, that's Paul, and we're down at Clifton Mill. That's a Downwards goal. It's in the Coach and Horses bar here in Ashbourne, and there's Mark Harrison. So Mark, you goaled a ball in 1986?
Yeah, 1986, which was a long time ago. When I goaled my ball, it broke early from the car park, and it was goaled at around 20 to 3. So then we was escorted back to the Green Man, where I handed the ball back in, and it's tradition that all the goal scorers buy everybody a drink, so you can imagine it's an expensive day. But I was lucky, because when I goaled mine, because it was so early, threw another ball up, it didn't cost me as much.
Yeah, so if it's before 5 o'clock,
if it's before 5, then another ball goes up. If it's 1 minute past 5, it's the end of the game.
And that's your ball just up there, is it?
This is my ball.
That one?
As you can see, it's got 1986 on it, and it's got Ashbourne Rugby Club shirt.
And is that painted to your own specifications, or is that the way?
Painted to my own.
So it'll be different on the day.
Yeah, it was totally different on the day.
And then you get to repaint it the way you want it.
Well, you can have it repainted the way you want it, or leave it original. It's entirely up to the person who's goaled it.
So the goaling of the ball, that means that you touched it.
The goaling of the ball is obviously you've got to get the ball down there, and then there's a mill wheel which is built into the wall in the river. So you have to enter the river, and you have to hit the ball 3 times on the mill wheel.
And when you goaled your ball, was there a bit of fight for the ball? Was there other players wanting it as well?
Because the ball got down there so early, and the guy that ran it in had goaled it the day before. Obviously somebody else was going to goal it, and I'd just made my mind up that it was my year, and there was 2 or 3 others that obviously thought that it was their year as well. So we ended up having a bit of a fight, and as luck happened, I come out on top, and I just took the ball and goaled it. So
you goaled it, and then you go back down to the Green Man Hotel, and you register it, then you win.
Yeah, when you goal it, everybody escorts you back to the Green Man. You hand the ball over to the committee at the Green Man, and they give you the nod on whether it's goaled or not.
Yeah. So thank you, Mark. You're official winner 1986, Wednesday.
That's me.
Thank you. It's outside the Green Man Hotel here. This is the banqueting suite. This is where they have the meal in here. They're all queuing up to go in there now. The Green Man Hotel in Ashbourne. They have a roast beef dinner and sing and make speeches. Some of the players go in for a meal that is mostly the committee and dignitaries and the family of the man that's throwing up the ball.
Harry Greenwood and my very good friend Michael Bettridge to sing the Stroke song. Down to play this glorious game, though this battle is most fought, and year by year the contest fought from a field that is called Shawcross, where friend meets friend in friendly strife, the leather for to gain, and they play the game right manfully, in snow, sunshine or rain. It's a good old game, denied to can that tries the blood of an Englishman. It's a good old game, denied if you can, that tries the blood of an Englishman. Lord Royal, the game shall ever be, no matter when or where, and to treat the game as sport, but green is more than the boldest dare. Through the ups and downs of its checkered life, may the ball still ever roll, until by fair and gallant strife, we reach the treasured goal. It's a good old game, denied to can that tries the blood of an Englishman. It's a good old game, denied if you can, that tries the blood of an Englishman.
They're all sitting having their dinner now. They have tomato soup, then roast beef, and then apple pie, and then coffee. This is the main room here. We just go up here, and then there's another more seating up here, and then through here there's more again through here. What's in here? About 400 or 500 people. There's a lot of wait lists. This is all the names here are the men that have thrown the ball up. Goes back to 1873 there. And over here, there's all the players that have won the game here. This is just off the main banqueting room up here. They're still having their dinner. They're on the roast beef course at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the chairman of the Ashbourne game that was played yesterday, and he's brought the ball that I presume was it played with? Yes, and he's presenting it to the Shrewsbury committee. Thank you very much. It's wonderful.
As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the chairman, my name's Pete Rogan, and we believe in tradition the same as you people. And if we can blend the two towns together, these traditions will go on.
Yesterday, these downers, I don't know what they're messing at. Failed again. Good grief. We used to get in the brook at Shawcroft before the river was altered. And many a time I've been right down to the mill at Cliff. Now, do I agree? I never gold a ball, but somebody gold it. And now we've got wet suits, we've got every aid. Much if they haven't got a gas fire or something in the wetsuit, keeping them warm. And then they let someone walk away with it last night. I can't understand this at all. Apparently, it was Richard Slater. God is He got it to take 40 according to the Ashbourne paper. Did they get that right? I think there is a picture somewhere of him actually goaling it. On the wall down there. I'm getting all my bits of paper mixed up now. First of all, I'd like to thank Tim Baker and Simon Ellaby. Is Simon here? Yeah. Just step forward and let everybody have a look at you. Thank you very much for your efforts, both of you. Well done. Commendable. I'd also like to thank Ridge Footway Caterers for an excellent meal both days. Also, Barbara and John Anderson for their efforts with the lunch and I think John's gone missing. I don't know whether he's making a break for the plane, but he has been under severe pressure recently, so anyway, I hope things will improve for him.
This great honour which I have in the past described as being like giving the freedom of the town. I know that he will treasure the goblet presented to him today as much as I do the one given to me in 1990. I would ask you all to be upstanding, raise your glasses in a toast to Bob Hudson, coupled with Ashbourne Royal Strike Tag.
I had a visual for this, I'll do this in order. Now, Mr. Top one, that's me, yeah. Lady Hilton, Mr. Robert Shields, Councillor Fred Elliott, Mayor, Councillor Alan Hodgkinson and Mrs. Hodgkinson. Ladies and gentlemen, my privileged guests. That's my telephone ringing. Let's just get one or two things off my chest first before I do my address. I'm not wearing the scarf today because I was threatened yesterday by a Sheffield supporter in front of me who will remain anonymous, but he's got a construction company on the airfield. Don't tell him, Pike. He told me if I wore that scarf today, he'd take it off, put it on the floor, and wipe his feet on it. Little does he know that if he had it on, and I gone up to Bradley and jumped on his Range Rover and wiped my feet on his roof. I was in bed last night, Ernie, 9:30. You don't have any parties anymore, so there's no point in stopping up. Secondly, you know that I was asked about this very generous offer in November. I have to keep it secret until the first publication of the Ashbourne paper in the new year. When it does come out, unfortunately, there's a mistake on the caption. Now, I'm not blaming the Ashbourne News Telegraph. You know, had a lot on that week. They had to get all the news together, send it all down to some obscure place in Burton. They have to typeset it, print it, bundle it up, and send it out to the various regions and sell it within 24 hours. Now, it's a tabloid, but it isn't that clever, is it? You know, not that quick. So you can understand the typesetter making some mistakes. Is there a photographer in the house? Can you just take a photograph of this and get it on the Ashbourne paper this week, please? We all know how difficult it is to make mistakes. But come on, Carol, every week. Anyway, one more off the cuff one. I'm honoured, I really am honoured, that you know I'm a fan of the Derby Counties, I've got to get this one in. Peter, you've been 10 years since you threw the ball up here. It's 10 months since you took over a Derby. Brilliant. You're doing a great job. The next 10 weeks... Stand up be counted, my son. We're all rooting for you. How are we doing so far? How are we doing for time? What's
10 minutes, Mark. We've got 10 minutes.
These shy clocks down here, they're waiting for me. I'm told that part of the reason for me being asked to throw the ball this year is in honour of my voluntary work that I've carried out for the town. I don't mind admitting that I do this because I love the town and I love the characters in it, regardless of what people say from outside the town. And I'd like to think that I'm doing it in memory of tracing the charitable steps of a dear friend of mine, Mr. Arthur Colcliffe. Mr. Ashbourne. The man was always pottering around Ashbourne doing things for people less fortunate than himself and taking a loose change out of the pocket for various charities. I'm sure they'll be watching this event today, looking down and saying, well done. You behave yourself, you bugger. Imagine questioning, can't you? When doing charity work, it's never a one-person exercise, and never truer in my case. Therefore, I'd like to thank all the other people who have worked on various projects with me. If it were not for you, I wouldn't be standing here today. So, to the many people who helped me, Arthur, I'm doing this today on your behalf. Another reason, I think, is the ability, looking at the menu, to acquire top-grade shredded cork for stuffing the balls for the last 7 years. This task could only be achieved with the help of Mr. Richard Collett, who now retired and used to be the district sales manager for the Iberian Peninsula during the 1990s. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that John Harrison has enough cork stored for the next 10 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Collett. Thank you. Most Tide addresses seem to follow the life story principle. Not in my case. My life has been so well chronicled in Ashbourne that people know what I'm going to do before I've done it. So, apart from the pseudonyms in the local paper, I'm going to look at a different tack. Looking around this room today, I see so many faces, bringing back so many fond memories that have occurred in this room, that I'm trying to bring back some of the memories that have happened in the past decades. In the 1950s, I remember working on the other side of this wall, working in the family business at Greenman Garage in Harrison Transport. I was working in the tyre store at the time. One afternoon I heard this absolutely fantastic sound of music coming from the Green Man. It was so good that the music kept stopping halfway through. It wouldn't necessarily stop from the beginning, to start from halfway through. And I thought, this sound is so good, I'm going to have a look. So I wandered up the yard, came to the top of these steps here, and who should be practising for a farmer's ball that evening but Ken McIntosh and his orchestra. Can you imagine, in this room, Ken McIntosh with support singers Lita Rosa and Dennis Lotus? Brilliant, yes, I thought the same at the time. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, that's looking back. And in the 1960s, is Dave Coxon and Dennis Baby here? No? What a shame, I'll record, of course, they're not here. They used to have gentlemen's evenings, they were called then. That's that nice. Now we know where we're coming from with David, eh? He used to have blast debates, recalling his explosive memoirs, blowing up industrial chimneys and transferring slurry pits from one field to another by use of cordite and explosives. You can imagine the stories, probably some of you still got it on LP. And as to means of light entertainment that changed from laughing so much, you had a number of lady dancers who would come around the audience. A little bit like lap dancers come pole dancers. But then it was more eyeball to eyeball. One particular dancer who was very famous was, and give us a shout if you remember, Gypsy Rose Lee. Yeah. Somebody there my age. Well done, Doug. 1970, I recall being secretary of the Ashbourne branch of the Derby County Supporters Club. And what an organisation it was then, and it still is. I became involved with many friends sitting in this room today, organising dances and Saturday evenings entertainment for Derby's home games, with the intention of getting Derby County players to attend. Now, I don't mind admitting that the reputation of this room and the people in it went before us. It wasn't long before, I think it was the last dance we had, the complete first team squad in this room, together with 4 directors, the Derby County Secretary and backroom staff. There was never any trouble, never any player chasing, and I just wish that something like that could happen today. Who knows? The changing attitudes of this world. In the 80s and 90s, I must admit that when considering into the 90s, I couldn't recall anything apart from well-supported discos and carpet sales. Which probably earned the management more money than the previous events. But apart from the Throwdown 98, a slight difference of opinion between my son and his dear wife Karen over some Sheffield lads that came down who desperately wanted to perform the full Monty. Don't remember them. Anyway, the outcome being that later that evening the pair made up, and following 9 months later to the day, my dear granddaughter was born. More recently, of course, into the 21st century, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales actually stood in this spot, conducting this pleasant task. Only 4 years ago. So you can imagine my reaction, ladies and gentlemen, when asked if I would consider this task today. I tell all, nothing in my life comes even close to these few precious moments. Thanks to all Shropshire. Don't worry lads, we're almost there. Just another 10 minutes. So in retrospect, this room means so much to so many people in Ashbourne. It remains the one location in town capable of accommodating so many in such a short time, and is such a major part of the build-up atmosphere of Shropshire and the birth of many Shropshire stories. Like goal-scoring stories drawn up by a group of players I used to meet every Shropshire. Namely Pip Plumley, Simon Plumley, Jim Bowden, Richard Bull, Nigel Wright and Bob Evans, and of course Peter Robotham. What a motley crew. Such a waste of talent. With such bloody bizarre ideas. Until one day, it nearly worked. The ball was being played out of town, and we were sitting in a bar as usual, making a plan. Trying to dream up the latest plan. When we were told the ball was down Birdsgrove Lane, and it was moving fast. It was what you call pretty hectic, frisky. We quickly transferred down to Closer's Farm, halfway down Birdsgrove Lane, where the ball was being played openly. A quick plan was drawn up. I think it was probably Pip's idea. So a quick plan was drawn up, and the group should go into an unused calf pen and wait while the other members of the crew started playing with the ball and guided the ball into the calf pen. Now this is true. They start kicking it about in the calf pen. When all the players were in, the group of 4 would make their way through a small gate where I was standing to count the members of the crew out. When they were all out, I couldn't believe it. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's my cue to shut the gate. I shut the gate. The first one of the opposing players hit the gate with his groin, quickly followed by about 20 others. He squealed like a stuck pig. I suddenly realised this is my cue to run. So I ran for the road to catch up the other 4, who by this time were in the road and laughing so hard they were sitting on the floor laughing. So I started laughing too. It wasn't long before the whole of the rest of the hub caught us up and gave us a right pasting. So we still record that magic moment this day. That was our chance gone forever. And so the game of Shropshire football, everyone born in Ashbourne, it means fond memories of a unique night or a day to most men that sometimes claim like the calf pen. Or you've all heard someone talking in a pub. That would have been my year if only. The story goes on, which is what Shropshire means to Ashbourne people, past and present, and long may it continue. One thing I shall never forget in my playing days is the chairman, Philip Tomlinson here. When he had the ball in the river, there was nothing in this world that was going to shift his grip. It was vice-like and awesome. Philip, I don't know where you got the strength from, but I've never seen or felt anything with a grip like that before. So before finishing my address, I'd like to thank a number of people who have helped me keep the game alive over the years and never get the appreciation that they deserve. Namely the group of mainly women who follow the ball throughout the day and night, be it riverside, fields, roadside. They never leave the game until it's all over. They know who they are, and so do the players who are supplied with drinks throughout the day and night. A big thank you to those supporters who never let the ball out of the sight and who give up following the ball until it's all over. Well done. In my opinion now, what you have in today's game, thanks to the committee, is an open, no secrets approach to the staging of a game and its reputation. With public liability, political correctness and risk assessments encroaching everyone's life nowadays, it's essential that the committee work close with the police in all aspects of keeping the game safe and unaffected by outside forces. I personally feel more secure and confident with the game and its future now than ever before because of the strength of today's committee and their up-to-date approach. Supported of course by the Players Committee and together with the latest edition of Game Marshals supporting the Derbyshire Constabulary who do a great job. Even Roy Attersley yesterday, he commented what a brilliant day it was here. There's more excitement here than in Westminster in a month. Ladies and gentlemen, a toast to Ashbourne's Royal Trophy and long may it continue.
Well done, Bob.